everyone. In this video, we're going to be doing more of like an intro to yoga. So I'm mainly going to be sort of doing an intro to sort of like a vinyasa or a power flow. So it's not going to be, I mean, it'll still be relaxing, but there'll just be a little bit more movement. So when I'm kind of going through, just some of the basics and stuff like that, just kind of keep that in mind. Now, when you're first starting yoga, it can be really intimidating. So you see these yogis, they're like uber flexible and you're just thinking, gosh, that's not me. Like I can barely touch my toes. So I hear you, I feel you. And so this is why we decided to create this video. A lot of you guys were telling me that you're pretty new to yoga. And so I wanted to kind of break it down a little bit so that it is, just so that you can kind of, I guess, get a better understanding of yoga, hopefully help get started in your own journey. And then also, getting my hair in my face. And then also just breaking down some of the poses just a little bit more at a slower pace so that it's a little bit more accessible. So when you're thinking about yoga, the number one thing is breath. I know people say that and, oftentimes, I think when you're sort of practicing, you can kind of forget to breathe. You can forget how important the breath is. But honestly, always bring it back to the breath. That's a lot of what yoga is. It's almost like a moving meditation is a good way to think about it. So the more that you can breathe into your body, breathe into those tension points, and just kind of get really comfortable there, honestly, you'll just feel so much better after that class. You'll feel so much more connected with your body, and it's just, you're really gonna reap those benefits that yoga provides. The other thing is you don't have to do everything. So I know sometimes when you're starting out, you might find a pose and just be like, wow, this is not feeling great for me. This isn't feeling good for my body. And you know what? That's okay. I want you to listen to your body. And if there's anything that I'm ever teaching that doesn't feel good, then stop it. Find something else that might feel good. Feel free to modify wherever you need to, breathe, rest, whatever you need to do, because honestly, this is your practice. This isn't my practice. This is yours. So it's going to be very personal for you and what you need out of it. So just make sure you're constantly listening to your body and then making those modifications. All right. I think I've at least talked enough, at least about those two things. So when you're ready, why don't we get started? Let's go. All right. I know I said that I was done talking, but actually there was one more thing that I wanted to sort of break down with you guys. So when you're thinking about a kind of like a vinyasa flow, a power flow, typically they sort of follow a certain sequence of poses. So normally you're going to start off with sun salutations to really warm up the body, which we'll go through a little bit later. Then you normally have a lot of standing postures with some flows involved just to help keep the body warm, followed normally by some balancing postures. And then typically you'll kind of close it out with closing postures, which are then meant to kind of cool down the body. And then the last pose, everyone's favorite, Shavasana. So that's where we really just give the body a chance to rest, to really sort of just feel through what we just did in practice. Again, cool the body down and get you ready for wherever you are in your day. So this one, we will kind of see how it goes. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, and well, short and sweet for me, so it's probably going to be about 20 minutes, I'm guessing. I actually don't have a timer here, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm going to really spend some time just walking through some of the stuff, and I plan to do this as a bit of a series, so we will build up on it and start building some more principles, building in new poses and things like that. But again, just kind of taking it at the slower pace, at a pace that's more comfortable, more accessible, and hopefully making you feel like yoga is something that you can do and start practicing and figuring it out, what it feels like and looks like for you. All right, so where we're going to start is we're actually just going to start with some breathing just to really get settled, really just get here. Now, this is meant to just get us here. So a lot of times you're doing this sort of in the evening. You might be doing this after a restless night of sleep. Whatever the reasons are, we're going to come here, slow the breath down, focus on the breath, and really just kind of get connected to get started. Okay. So find any comfortable position. Now, I understand that right now I'm on my shins. This might feel really uncomfortable for you. And if that's the case, then try cross-legged. If this is still feeling really uncomfortable, maybe you bring one leg forward so you kind of have one leg bent. And if that's also not feeling great, maybe you have both legs out, right? So I personally don't really care what seated position you take. You may even consider putting a pillow underneath the sit bones if you've got blocks, anything like that. So just find anything that's gonna feel good for you, feel nice and accessible, all right? So now that I'm here, I'll just go into cross-legged, and I want you to just take your hands and just place them anywhere on the body. We're gonna just take 3 breaths together, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So when you're ready, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Slowly open up your eyes and let's get started. So we're gonna start with some sun salutations. So we're gonna start with A and then we'll go to B. So A, let's get started. So a nice place to start typically in yoga is in downward dog. So downward dog, the first thing I want you to think about is anytime that your hands are gonna be on the mat, I want you to think about really spreading the palm, spreading the fingers here. Now, as I'm explaining this to you and as you try it the first few times, this might not really resonate with you. You might be thinking, Jen, I don't really know what you're talking about. And that's fine. Just, as you keep hearing it and as you keep practicing, just keep coming back. And I guarantee at some point it's just gonna click and you're gonna say, okay, I think I kind of get what she's saying now. So a lot of things in yoga are about micro movements. So as you slowly start getting more comfortable with your body, you start listening more to your body, you start doing these poses more frequently, you'll really start connecting different pieces of, just different little muscles that you've got in your body, how the breath flows in, and you'll just sort of start getting this kind of awareness in your body that you didn't have before. And this is where, you'll really start connecting with those micro movements. So if it's not fully connecting at this point, I don't want you to worry about it. All right, so again, nice wide palm. Now why this is important is because if you don't take the wide palm and you don't distribute the weight between the palm, you can actually give yourself some severe wrist issues. A lot of us are typing all day and doing a lot of stuff with our wrists, and the last thing you want is any more problems than you might already have. So what I want you to focus on is sort of opening up here wide through the palm and placing the palms on the mat, and think about distributing the weight between all of these little fingertips and the heel here of the palm, okay? So from here, now what we're gonna do is bring the hips all the way back. Now, you can see here, I've been practicing yoga for a long time. So you can see that I'm able to have nice straight legs here, or straight-ish legs. And also, my heels are coming down. Now, if yours doesn't look like that, that's fine. I've been practicing probably a lot longer. And so what I want you to focus on here is try bending the knees. It's okay if your heels are all the way up, right? I don't want you to focus so much on what you look like. I want you to focus on what you feel like. So in downward dog, we want the hips to be nice and back, up towards the sky, and you should sort of feel this in the back of your legs, and especially if you haven't done this before, I guarantee you're probably gonna feel it in the calves, okay? From here, bringing those shoulders away from the ears, again, bending these legs. Now from here, what we're gonna do is just step all the way to the top of the mat. So, Sun Salutation A. Inhale, arms come all the way up. And exhale, palms to the chest, just bringing the palms down. Exhale. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, folding over the legs. So you might have nice bent knees here. You might try and go straight legs. It doesn't really matter. Just find something that feels good for your body, okay? From here, I want you to just grab the elbows. Just hang here just for a sec. Inhale and exhale. From here, palms are gonna come to your shins. Inhale, look up, flat back. And exhale, palms back on the mat, stepping those legs back. From here, I want you to just come onto your knees. We're gonna go into our chaturanga just on the knees, and we're going to start bending the elbows, but really trying to press them towards the body. So keep them nice and tight, hold them in. And from here, we're gonna inhale, coming up into cobra. So thighs are still on the ground, a little bit of a back bend here, looking up. Now be careful here that you're not straining your back. So this shouldn't feel painful. This should feel kind of just like a nice opening. Again, the first few times that you do some of these poses, they might feel very strange. So just really listen to your body, and if you need extra rest, make sure you do that. From here, rolling over the toes, coming back into our downward dog. Nice bent legs here, just breathing here. Inhale and exhale. Hips are coming back all the way to the sky. Maybe starting to try and bend those legs if that feels good. And let's do Sun Salutation A one more time, all right? So again, we'll go a little faster this time. So stepping all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach out, open up. Exhale, palms coming down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, folding over the legs. Again, just holding and hugging the elbows in here, hanging out, feeling that release in the lower back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, palms coming to the shins, looking up. And exhale, stepping all the way back. Again, let's bring our knees all the way to the mat, hugging those elbows in. Inhale, coming into your cobra, and exhale, folding over the legs, coming into your downward dog. All right, so great work. So that was our Sun Salutation A. Keep holding your downward dog here, get comfortable. And we're gonna do a couple Sun Salutation Bs. And then, you know what, I think I'm gonna end the video there because, you know, if you're kind of new to this is probably gonna feel like a lot. And so we'll start there, and then we're gonna just keep doing a couple more in these series and sort of just slowly build up the body so that, one, you can get more comfortable with what these poses are, what they look like, what they feel like, and, you know, just keep going from there, all right? Just don't get discouraged because it does take time. I remember my first yoga class, gosh, I did not feel that great after. It felt really hard. All right, so from here, downward dog, nice bent knees, get those hips all the way back. Just breathing here. Breathing, breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. All right, let's step all the way to the top of the mat. So this time we're gonna find our chair pose, so Sun Salutation B. So Sun Salutation B, we're gonna drop the hips here. I like to, from here, try to see if I can graze my fingertips on my mat to make sure I'm getting my hips nice and low. And then from here, bringing my arms all the way up beside my ears, nice and active arms here, pointing up. Try and tuck that tailbone here. Core should be nice and tight. So breathing here, looking up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, folding over the legs. Let's grab our elbows again, hanging out here just for one breath. Inhale and exhale. From here, palms are coming down to the mat. We're gonna step all the way back, dropping our knees, coming down to our modified chaturanga here, elbows tight to the body. Inhaling to cobra and exhaling back to downward dog. From here, right leg lifts, coming back, and then bringing it to the center of of your palms. Now that might not feel or look quite as graceful, especially depending on your flexibility. So if that's you, then just figure out how you're gonna kind of bring that foot up. Maybe you need to come up to standing first to sort of bring that foot up here. Maybe you need to just slowly sort of walk it. Okay, so just figure out how you're gonna get there. It doesn't really matter, just get there. From here, we're gonna go into our warrior one. So what we're gonna do is bring that back foot down. So it's gonna be almost on a 45-degree angle, front toes pointing forward. From here, bending this knee. Now, here's the trick. Warrior one can be a little challenging, especially if you don't practice this a lot. I actually still find this one a little bit challenging for me. So this is gonna depend on your body, but what I want you to think about is you've got your hip bones right here. You want both of those hip bones to be pointing towards your knee. So you might need to modify your stance to allow that to happen in your body. So you might take it a little bit more out, you might take it a little bit more back. So this is very personal, you know, see what that feels like. So from here, hip bones pointing forward, nice deep bend in the front knee, back leg should feel nice and active. It shouldn't be going anywhere, okay? From here, arms are coming up, breathing nice and tight, and then same thing applies. So I want you to try and tuck that tailbone. Core is nice and active here. Breathing, inhale, and exhale, palms are coming to the mat. Somehow getting that foot all the way back. I like to drag my foot on the mat because it gives it a little bit more resistance, but feel free to just find however you're gonna get back here, okay? From here, we're gonna drop the knees one more time, bringing the elbows in tight, coming down to chaturanga, inhale to cobra, and exhale, coming into your downward dog. So we've got one more side to do. So we're gonna inhale, left foot up. Exhale, bringing that foot between the palms. Just figure out your way, however you're gonna make it, getting here. Again, we're gonna pivot that back foot, coming up. And then modifying your back leg so that you can get both of your hip bones pointing forwards, okay? So from here, nice deep bend in the knee. And from here, palms are coming up. So again, feeling this in the back leg, nice and active. Feeling this in the front leg, trying to get a nice deep bend here, okay? Arms are coming up, active, core is tight, and tucking that tailbone, okay? So from here, just breathing. Inhale. And exhale, palms come onto the mat, maybe dragging that foot back, or whatever way you need to get that foot back. Knees are coming to the ground, elbows are tight. Inhale to upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. All right, so we've made it through 2 Sun Salutation A's, 1 Sun Salutation B, and you know what? I'm thinking that's probably pretty good for this first class, okay? So what we're gonna do is I want you to just drop to your knees, and we're gonna take a child's pose. So bringing those toes together, bringing your hips back. Now, if this is a position that feels not good, this is what it's gonna look like. We're gonna bring the head all the way to the mat, arms are coming out, and just letting go of this lower back here. So feeling this opening in your hips, feeling this opening in the lower back, and this should feel somewhat comfy. Now, understand, maybe it doesn't. So if it doesn't, I want you to come to your seat. I want you to point your knees towards the sky, towards the ceiling, and I want you to just sort of drape over your legs here. See if you can let your head hang, if you can just kind of fold over the legs, and just see what that feels like, okay? So wherever you are, we're gonna hold it here for a few breaths. Just bringing down that heart rate, slowing everything down, kind of cooling everything down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. All right, coming back up, let's go into our final pose, Shavasana. Close out this practice. So for Shavasana, you can have your legs nice and wide on the mat. You can come down, maybe bringing the palms to the sides and just laying here if that feels good. What you could also do is come into a diamond shape with your legs if that feels good. So just having the legs wide, hands wide. This is really sort of traditional, classic Shavasana. So I'm gonna choose this one. Now let's do a few breaths together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep breathing at your own pace. Just taking this however you need to. Enjoying just being still here for a few breaths. See if there's any tension areas that you might be holding on to that you can release. Check your toes, check your calves, check those knees and those thighs, your hips and your glutes, your back and your chest, your arms and your neck. Finally, those hands, those fingers, and your head. Taking these last few breaths just for you. And when you're ready, slowly start wiggling those fingers, wiggling those toes. Arms coming above the head, legs. Nice deep stretch, pulling them in opposite directions. And then finally picking whichever side, using your arms as a little pillow. Coming in a fetal position, just taking a last breath. And then when you're ready, coming into any seated position that works for you. Let's finish the practice the same way we started it. Close your eyes, take 3 breaths. Inhale, and let it go through the mouth. Exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, rest of your evening. Namaste. All right, so that was our intro to yoga. I hope that you found that pace was a little bit better. I hope you found that whole sequence more accessible and that we broke down the poses so that you kind of understand, just where to focus attention, different cues for that kind of thing. Keeping it nice, short and sweet, just to start getting the body comfortable with some of these movements, these poses. So let me know if you like this content. Let me know if you do want to see more videos like this type of series where we slowly progress into our yoga journey, slowly get more comfortable with some of these poses. Let me know what the pace was like. Let me know if the cues are right, if you want to see more cues or less cues. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, love practicing with you guys. Love hearing your comments. So if you like that video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Definitely we want to hear from you. So if you like it, then definitely let me, or even if you don't like it, give me some comments below, give me some feedback. Always looking for feedback. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I know I just did the thumbs up and I don't really know why, but anyways. So without further ado, thanks again so much for joining us. And until next time, bye everyone.